Do you feel it, that quiet hum beneath your skin, the pulse of a man destined for more? What if age isn't a slow fade but a forge, hammering you into something sharper, stronger, unbreakable? Are you ready to decode the hidden evolution of the Sigma male, the lone wolf who turns time into his ultimate weapon? Buckle up, because this isn't just a video, it's a wake-up call from the man you're becoming. Welcome to the Sigma male community, where we strip away the noise and reveal the raw, unfiltered blueprint of masculine excellence. Today we're diving into 11 surprising ways Sigma males transform with age, each a stepping stone to a life of purpose, power, and unshakable calm. Stick around, this is your initiation into a journey that'll redefine what it means to be you. 1. The emotional alchemy shift. Sigma males don't just grow older, they master the art of turning emotional chaos into liquid gold. In their younger years, emotions hit like rogue waves, anger, frustration, even fleeting joys crashing against their stoic exterior, threatening to pull them under. They might clench their fists in silence, bottling storms they don't yet know how to tame. But with age they become alchemists of the soul. Decades of facing heartbreak, betrayal, and quiet victories teach them to see feelings not as enemies but as raw materials. They don't suppress, they refine. Picture a young Sigma, jaw tight after a setback, wrestling with rage he can't name. Now fast forward, same man, same storm, but he's calm, eyes steady, breaking down the chaos like a scientist in a lab, redirecting its energy into fuel for his next move. This is pressure-tested serenity, a fortress built from every tear and triumph. The stoic thread here is clear. What we can't control, we master through our response. Younger Sigmas might fight the wind, but older ones learn to sail it. They stop asking why me, and start asking what now. Every emotion becomes a signal, a chance to sharpen their rational mind. They've walked through fire and learned it doesn't have to burn, it can temper them instead. This shift isn't about numbing out, it's about waking up, taking the wild, messy energy of youth and forging it into a blade of clarity that cuts through life's noise. Think of it like this. A younger Sigma might lose a night's sleep over a slight, replaying it in his head like a broken record. But the seasoned Sigma? He's already dissected it, extracted the lesson, and moved on before the sun's up. He's not cold, he's calculated, turning emotional turbulence into a superpower. This is the alchemy shift. Where chaos once ruled, calm now reigns, and every scar is a medal of mastery earned the hard way. 2. Social sniper precision. Sigma males evolve from wandering ghosts in a crowd to sharpshooters of connection. In their youth, they might drift through social scenes, present but detached, watching the world like it's a play they didn't sign up for. They tolerate the chatter, the small talk, the energy drain of too many faces, spreading themselves thin across a sea of noise. But as the years stack up, they get surgical. Time turns into their most guarded resource, and they spend it like snipers picking targets, only on what hits the mark. Casual ties get cut like dead weight. Their circle shrinks to a crew of intellectual heavyweights or soul-level allies. They don't just tolerate people, they invest in them, and only the worthy make the cut. This is stoic wisdom at work. Focus on what matters, ditch the rest. Older Sigmas don't waste breath on pleasantries or energy on leeches. They've learned that every yes to the wrong person is a no to their own growth. It's not arrogance, it's efficiency. They've seen enough masks fall to know who's real, and they guard their solitude like a vault, opening it only for those who bring something worth keeping. Imagine an older Sigma at a party. He's not loud, not flashy, but when he locks eyes with someone, it's game on. One conversation, deep and electric, trumps a room full of shallow nods. Here's the kicker. This precision isn't about isolation, it's about impact. They're not hiding, they're hunting. A young Sigma might sit through a draining night just to be there. The veteran? He's already gone, having extracted the one gem of insight from the room, leaving the rest to their noise. His social scope narrows, but his influence deepens. This is sniper precision. Every shot deliberate, every connection a bullseye, turning their presence into a rare and potent force. 3. Conscientiousness combat upgrade. Rebellion gives way to a machine of relentless execution. Early on, Sigmas might flex their independence through chaos. Late nights, wild risks, a middle finger to the system. Structure feels like chains, and they'd rather burn out than bow. But age flips the script. They see that real freedom isn't anarchy, it's discipline, a combat-ready upgrade to their core. Financial plans lock into place like battle strategies, health becomes a fortress of habits, skills sharpen into lethal tools. They move like a special forces operative, every step mapped, every resource weaponized. Ambitions stop being daydreams and start being missions, crushed with cold, methodical precision. Stoicism fuels this shift. Self-mastery is the ultimate rebellion against a world that thrives on distraction. Older Sigmas don't just resist, they conquer, turning their lone wolf nature into a war machine of purpose. They've learned that spontaneity is a young man's game. True power lies in the grind, in stacking small wins into an empire. Picture a young Sigma chasing thrills, waking up to a life half-built. Now see him at 40, up at dawn, running his day like a general, every move a brick in a legacy no one can topple. This isn't about rigidity, it's about results. They don't lock in for the sake of rules, they do it for the payoff. A younger Sigma might scoff at routine, but the veteran knows it's the scaffold to greatness. He's not tamed, he's trained, a philosopher king who's turned his chaos into a calculated campaign. This is the Conscientiousness combat upgrade, where raw defiance meets ruthless focus, and the Sigma becomes a force of nature no one saw coming. 4. The experience funnel phenomenon. What starts as a wide-eyed buffet of life narrows into a laser beam of mastery. Young Sigmas are explorers, tasting everything from books to brawls, soaking up the world like it's theirs to devour. They're jacks of all trades, restless, chasing every spark. But as time carves its lines, they shift gears. Curiosity hardens into obsession. They pick their lanes and dominate them. Distractions get torched, new hobbies, shiny trends, they don't stand a chance against the question, does this earn my time? They become virtuosos, pouring every ounce of themselves into one or two crafts, turning breadth into depth that cuts like a diamond drill. Stoic roots run deep here. Excellence demands sacrifice, and Sigmas learn to say no to good so they can say yes to great. They don't scatter their energy, they channel it, funneling decades of trial and error into a single, unstoppable flow. It's not about limits, it's about liberation through focus. Think of a young Sigma, juggling 10 half-finished projects, a mind buzzing with potential. Now see him older, his desk clear but for one masterpiece, his hands steady, his skill a beacon of brilliance. He's not just playing the game, he's rewriting the rules. This phenomenon is electric because it's earned. They don't stumble into mastery, they stalk it, shedding anything that doesn't serve the mission. A younger Sigma might flirt with a dozen paths. The veteran picks one and owns it, his expertise a fortress built brick by bloody brick. This isn't retreat, it's advance, a high-velocity vortex of experience that turns a restless soul into a legend. This is the funnel, where chaos condenses into power, and the Sigma emerges as a master of his domain. 5. Boundary enforcement evolution. From quiet retreat to ironclad command, Sigmas rewrite the rules of engagement. In their youth, they might dodge conflict, slipping away to protect their peace, walls up but unspoken. They're isolators by instinct, dodging the drama. But age brings a reckoning, they stop running and start ruling. Their no grows teeth, a silent force that stops trespassers cold. Social deals shift, you get me on my terms or not at all. Energy thieves, whiners, manipulators, hit a boundary so firm it's like walking into a steel door. They don't negotiate with chaos, they end it, swift and final. This is stoic self-respect in action. Your peace is yours to guard, and no one gets a vote. Older Sigmas don't bend to guilt trips or pleas, they've seen the cost of weak lines and paid it in lost time. They enforce with calm, not rage, a king's authority that needs no shouting. Imagine a young Sigma biting his tongue as someone oversteps, too proud to fight back. Now see him at his peak, same situation but he cuts it off with a look and a word, unshaken, untouchable. His boundaries aren't walls anymore, they're a moat and only the worthy cross. Here's the beauty, this evolution isn't cold, it's clear. They don't hate the world, they value themselves too much to let it bleed them dry. A younger Sigma might ghost to avoid the mess. The veteran stands his ground, his presence a line in the sand no one dares cross. This is boundary enforcement evolution, where passive defense turns into active dominion, and the Sigma claims his sovereignty with every step. 6. Autonomy Weaponization. Independence isn't just a trait, it's a loaded gun and Sigmas learn to aim it. Early on they might rebel for the hell of it, kicking against norms like a caged animal. It's freedom, sure, but it's wild, unfocused. Age sharpens the edge. They take that raw autonomy and turn it into a strategic beast. They build lives where self-reliance isn't just survival, it's domination. Money, mind, spirit, they answer to no one, crafting systems that let them move like phantoms through a world of puppets. Decisions snap like gunfire, no second-guessing, no committees, just pure, calibrated instinct. Stoicism lights the fuse. True freedom is inner, unshackled from outside noise. Older Sigmas don't just dodge the script. They burn it, writing their own with ink no one can erase. They've seen the herd stumble and learned to trust their own compass, honed by years of scars and wins. Picture a young Sigma breaking rules to prove a point, directionless. Now see him later. Every move his own, every dollar earned his way, a one-man empire no one can touch. His autonomy isn't defiance, it's design. This weaponization is pure power. They don't lean on anyone, and that's their edge. When the world zigzags, they stay straight, cutting through like a blade. A younger Sigma might flex freedom like a badge. The veteran wields it like a sword, carving a path no one else can follow. This is autonomy weaponization, where independence becomes a force, and the Sigma turns solitude into supremacy. 7. Ambivert equilibrium mastery. Solitude and society aren't enemies, they're tools, and Sigmas learn to wield both. In their youth, crowds might feel like a slow bleed, draining their spirit until they bolt for the shadows. They recharge alone, dodging the social grind. But age brings balance. They crack the code, turning introversion into a dial they twist at will. Socializing stops being a chore and starts being a mission. Connect, extract, retreat. They glide into rooms like operatives, picking their moments, leaving no trace. Charm hits like a sniper shot, sharp, clean, gone before you blink. Stoic balance drives this. Engage the world but never lose yourself in it. Older Sigmas don't hide from people. They use them, not cruelly but cleverly, taking what fuels them and leaving the rest. They've mastered the dance between silence and speech, solitude and strategy. Think of a young Sigma cornered at a party, counting minutes to escape. Now see him older. He's in, he's out, a deep talk with one guy, then back to his cave, recharged, not drained. He's not split, he's seamless. This mastery is freedom in motion. They don't pick a side, lone wolf or pack leader, they play both, bending the game to their rhythm. A younger Sigma might dread the crowd. The veteran commands it, then vanishes, his energy intact, his goals met. This is ambivert equilibrium mastery, where the Sigma turns duality into dominance, a man at ease in any arena. 8. Silentium Sapientia, wisdom of silence. Words fade and silence becomes their sharpest weapon. Young Sigmas might talk to prove a point, spilling thoughts to mark their ground. They feel the itch to be heard. But age flips the switch. They shut up and see, ears open, eyes like lasers. Silence isn't retreat, it's recon, mapping the room, decoding the unsaid. They read people like code, spotting lies, fears, motives in the gaps between chatter. When they speak, it's a kill shot, precise, rare, unforgettable. Stoic roots anchor this. Listen more, say less, no more. Older Sigmas don't waste air. They've learned that truth hides in quiet, not noise. They've watched enough battles to predict the moves, their stillness a shield and a sword. Picture a young Sigma, arguing to win, voice raised. Now see him at 50, sitting back, a faint smile, dismantling a debate with one line after 10 minutes of silence. His quiet isn't weak, it's wise. This wisdom electrifies. They don't need to shout. Their presence hums, pulling focus without a word. A younger Sigma might flex his voice. The veteran flexes his void, letting others trip over their own tongues while he sees it all. This is Silentium Sapientia, where silence turns into strength, and the Sigma becomes a sage in the shadows. 9. Legacy engineering instinct. Survival shifts to significance. Sigma start building for tomorrow. In their youth, it's all about the now, walls up, world out, keeping their edge. They fight to stand alone. But age sparks a primal flip. They look past their own horizon. Every move gets weighed. Does this last? Skills turn into lessons, wealth into roots, projects into blueprints for a world they won't see. They mentor, they create, they plant trees whose shade they'll never sit in, driven by a quiet hunger to echo beyond their pulse. Stoic purpose fuels this. Live for the good, not just the self. Older Sigmas don't clutch their wins, they share them, knowing real strength isn't in hoarding but in giving what lasts. They've seen time's teeth and choose to defy it with impact. Imagine a young Sigma guarding his turf, all for him. Now see him older, teaching a kid his craft, eyes sharp, voice steady, building a chain of wisdom that won't break. He's not done, he's just begun. This instinct is fire. They don't fade, they forge, turning years into a legacy that hits like a shockwave. A younger Sigma might live for the fight. The veteran lives for the future, his every act a brick in something eternal. This is legacy engineering instinct, where the Sigma stops running and starts ruling not over men but over time itself. 10. Pressure diamond composure. Crises don't crack them, they polish them. Young Sigmas might flinch when the heat's on, their calm a mask hiding a racing pulse. Trouble feels like a gut punch. But age turns pressure into their ally, they lean into it, cool as ice, sharp as steel. Where others panic, they dissect, flipping chaos into a puzzle they're built to solve. Adrenaline doesn't cloud them, it clarifies, every nerve firing to outthink the storm. They don't just survive, they shine, each blow making them harder, brighter, unbreakable. Stoic resilience is the backbone. Face the fire, feel the fear, act anyway. Older Sigmas don't dodge life's hits. They catch them, mold them, turn them into grit that refines their edge. They've been burned enough to know it's fuel, not failure. Think of a young Sigma, rattled by a curveball, scrambling. Now see him later. Same mess but he's still plotting, solving it like it's chess, not war. The heat's on and he's colder than ever. This composure is magnetic. They don't bend, they build, every trial a chance to prove what they're made of. A younger Sigma might sweat the small stuff. The veteran laughs at it, his calm a middle finger to fate. This is pressure diamond composure, where stress becomes strength and the Sigma emerges not just whole, but harder than the world that tried to break him. 11. Anti-fragile identity forging. Labels slide off and Sigmas become their own gravity. In their youth they might grapple with who they're supposed to be, pushing back but still feeling the pull. The world's noise seeps in. But age burns that away, they forge an identity that doesn't just resist, it thrives on the hits. Betrayals weld armor, wins add stealth, every year a layer of steel no one can pierce. They're not defined by applause or attacks, they're defined by themselves, a core so solid it bends reality around it. Stoic truth drives this, your soul is yours, not theirs. Older Sigmas don't need the mirror of others, they've seen enough storms to know who they are, and they wear it like a second skin. They grow stronger in chaos, not despite it. Picture a young Sigma stung by a slight, doubting. Now see him at his peak, eyes locked forward, unshaken, a man who's turned every wound into a weapon. He's not fragile, he's forged. This forging is pure power. They don't just stand, they pull, a force that draws the real and repels the fake. A younger Sigma might seek his place. The veteran makes his own, an enigma to some, a north star to others. This is anti-fragile identity forging, where life's blows don't break the Sigma. They build him layer by layer into a man beyond breaking. You've just walked the path of the Sigma male's transformation, from raw spark to refined flame, a journey that doesn't end but evolves. This isn't a fairy tale, it's your call to arms, a map to the man you're wired to become. Right now, whether you're 25 or 55, that future self is watching, urging you to grab these lessons, wield them, and carve your own legend. The Sigma male community isn't just a channel, it's your proving ground, your tribe, your guide to a life of steel and purpose. Don't let this end here. Hit that like button if it hit you, drop a comment with your takeaway, share it with the brothers who need it. If you're in, subscribe and smash that bell, turn on notifications so you never miss a drop of this wisdom. You're not just watching, you're rising. Welcome to the Sigma male community, where we don't settle for good, we chase greatness. Let's build it together.